For this formal meditation practice, we will adopt the formal meditation posture. The best way to allow the mind to come to rest is to create a stable physical posture. In his wisdom, the Buddha provided instructions for aligning the body in a balanced way that allows the mind to remain alert and relaxed at the same time. Over the years, this physical alignment has become known as the 7-point posture, an aspect of the Buddha that represents enlightened form. The first point of the posture is to create a stable base for the body, which means, if possible, crossing your legs so that each foot rests on the opposite thigh. If you can't do this, you can just cross one foot on top of the opposite thigh, resting the other beneath the opposite thigh. If neither position is comfortable, you can simply cross your legs. You can even sit comfortably in a chair, with your feet resting evenly on the floor. The goal is to create a physical foundation that is simultaneously comfortable and stable. If you feel great pain in your legs, you won't be able to rest your mind because you'll be too preoccupied by that pain. That's why there are so many options available concerning this first point. The second point is to rest your hands in your lap just below your navel, with the back of one hand resting in the palm of the other. It doesn't matter which hand is placed on top of the other, and you can switch their positions at any time during your practice. It's also fine to simply lay your hands palm down over your knees. The third point is to allow a bit of space between your upper arms and your torso, enough to make sure that your chest is open and relaxed so that you can breathe nice and freely. If you have a muscular torso, don't strain yourself to artificially maintain a bit of space between your arms and your chest. Just allow your arms to rest naturally in a way that doesn't constrict your breathing. The fourth point of the physical posture is to keep your spine as straight as possible, as the classic texts say, like an arrow. But here again, it's important to find a balance. If you try to sit up too straight, you'll end up leaning backward or creating unnecessary tension. On the other hand, if you just let yourself slouch, you'll almost certainly end up compressing your lungs, which will make it harder to breathe. The fifth point involves letting the weight of your head rest evenly on your neck. When you find the position that's right for you, you'll probably notice that your chin is tilting just slightly more towards your throat than it normally does. If you've ever sat in front of a computer for hours and hours with your head tipped slightly backwards, you'll immediately understand how much better you'll feel just by making this simple adjustment. The sixth point concerns the mouth, which should be allowed to rest naturally so that your teeth and lips are just slightly parted. If possible, you can allow the tip of your tongue to gently touch the upper palate just behind your teeth. Don't force the tongue to touch your palate, just allow it to rest there gently. If your tongue is too short to reach the palate without strain, don't worry. The most important thing is to allow the tongue to rest naturally. The last point of the meditation posture involves the eyes. Most people who are new to meditation feel more comfortable keeping their eyes closed. They find it easier that way to allow the mind to rest and to experience a sense of peace and tranquility. And this is fine at the beginning. However, keeping the eyes closed makes it easier to become attached to an artificial sense of tranquility. So eventually, after a few days of practice, it's better to keep your eyes open when you meditate so that you can stay alert, clear, and mindful. This doesn't mean glaring straight ahead without blinking, but simply leaving your eyes open as they normally are throughout the day, with a gentle gaze. The 7-point posture is really a set of guidelines, but meditation is a personal practice, and everyone is different. The most important thing is to find for yourself the appropriate balance between tension and relaxation. Now, from this place, let's start our formal Objectless meditation. The instructions are simple. Allow your mind to relax in a state of bare awareness of the present moment. Inevitably, All sorts of thoughts, sensations, and feelings will pass through your mind. This is to be expected. It's just like starting a weight training program at the gym. At first, you can lift only a few pounds for a few repetitions before your muscles get tired. But if you keep at it, gradually you'll find that you can lift heavier weights and perform more repetitions. Similarly, learning to meditate is a gradual process. At first, you might be able to remain in this state of open awareness for only a few seconds at a time, before thoughts, emotions, and sensations bubble up to the surface. The basic instruction here is simple. Do not follow after these thoughts and emotions, but merely be aware of everything that passes through your mind as it is. Whatever passes through your mind, don't focus on it and don't try to suppress it. Just drop back and observe it as it comes and goes. So let's take a deep breath together now. And at the end of your exhalation, let's sit in this space of open awareness for just 60 seconds. Once you begin to follow after a thought, an emotion, a sensation, you lose touch with what's happening in the here and now. And you could begin imagining all sorts of fantasies, judgments, memories, and other scenarios that may have nothing to do with the reality of the present moment. And the more you allow yourself to get caught up in this type of mental wandering, the easier it becomes to drift away from the openness of the present moment. The purpose of Vipassana meditation is to slowly and gently break this habit and remain in a state of present awareness, open to all of the possibilities of the present moment. So don't criticize yourself when you find yourself following after thoughts. The fact that you've caught yourself reliving a past event or projecting into the future is enough to bring you back to the present moment and strengthen your intention to meditate. And your intention, as you engage in this practice, is a crucial factor. So let's try again. For another 60 seconds, at the end of your exhalation, just drop back into the open space of awareness and observe everything that appears in consciousness for that minute, be it thoughts, feelings, sensations, sounds, or anything else, pleasant or unpleasant. Breathing together now. It's important to proceed slowly here. Drip by drip, the old texts say, a cup gets filled. So when you first start out, don't set yourself a lofty goal of sitting down to Vipassana meditation for 10 minutes. Aim instead for a minute, or even half a minute, utilising those few seconds when you find yourself willing or even desiring just to take a break from the daily grind to observe your mind, rather than drifting off into daydreams. Practicing like this, one drip at a time, you'll find yourself gradually becoming free of the mental and emotional limitations that are the source of fatigue, disappointment, anger, and even despair, and discovering within yourself an unlimited source of clarity, wisdom, diligence, peace, and compassion.